Hi guys, thanks for attending our talk. We're going to talk about biometric system hacking in the age of smart vehicle. So who are we? I'm Kevin 2600, and this is my teammate Wesley. Say hi. Okay, so we are the security researchers from the StarV lab, and we have researched and found many interesting vehicle-related bugs and presented, and some of them at DEF CON in past few years. And if anyone wonder what Car Hackers Lab looks like, and here are some pictures for you, okay? Just like any other labs, we got lots of interesting equipment, and most importantly, we got the actual cars to play with. So, okay, so here are the contents for today's talk. We are going to talk about biometric authentication, and then facial recognition spoofing, and then speaker recognition spoofing for the vehicles. Okay, so biometric authentication. And this is a definition of multi-factor authentication. Basically, you will need two or more factors, like something you are, and something you have, and something you know, to achieve the authentication. So something you have. Usually, this means our key fob for the cars. The key fob is a very common device we have for the vehicle. And in the recent time, some car company start to replace the physical key fobs with a NFC card or just a mobile phone to access the car. For example, this is a key fob system for Tesla. In the beginning, Tesla only provides the NFC card and mobile app to access the vehicle. But later, Tesla has provided the physical key fob, but still it's based on BLE and NFC. Okay, something you know. Now, interestingly, some car company like Ford, they provided a feature that we can unlock the door with a PIN code. So we need something to always remember this, right? And something you are. Again, some model of Ford not only using PIN codes to unlock the door, it has also provided a fingerprint reader. That means we can point our finger at it and to unlock our car, right? And some company use a Face ID for access the vehicle has become a new trend too. And also the car companies like BMW and Honda prefer to use our human voice print and integrate with a smart speaker to control the cars, like Honda here and with the Alexa. Okay. Now, let's move on. How do we do a speaker recognition spoofing? So the definition of speaker recognition is the identification of person from characteristics of voice. It can be used to authenticate or verify identity of a speaker as part of a security process. And this definition I took from the Wikipedia. And the development history of speaker recognition can be traced all the way back to the 60s. The speaker recognition algorithm has started with a template matching and then move on to probability model like GNM and GNM-UBM. And the feature classification like D vector and X vectors and so on. So the speaker recognition system generally consists of two categories, like feature extraction and feature matching. And in reality, the extracted features are matched with features of people registered in the database. And then the identity is determined based on similarity of these two features. So for the content to be recognized, the speaker recognition system is generally divided into three categories. The first one is a fixed vocabulary recognition. It means voice print recognition through fixed vocabulary, such as "Hey Siri." And second one is fixed voice plus random content recognition. It means the fixed and the random contents combined together, such as "Hey Bob, 2600," and 2600 is generated randomly by the system. And finally, the random content recognition is entire phrase is generated randomly by the system. Now, as you can see, the speaker recognition systems are already everywhere, from access control system in the voice assistant in the car.
But what could possibly go wrong then? Here we listed some of the most common spoofing methods for speaker recognition. Yes, the one is called an impersonation attack. The attacker tries to impersonate the victim's speaking tone to deceive the target system, but this attack can be easily detected by the speaker recognition system, and there are more effective and advanced attacks called the replay attack, speech synthesis, voice conversion, and the adversarial example attack. We are going to talk about those attacks in more detail later. Now, let's look at the replay attack is mainly aimed at the system of fixed sentence verification. We can use the recording device to record the fixed sentence of the victims and replay the recorded sentence during verification to deceive the speaker recognition system. As we can see from a mail spectrogram, the similarity from replayed voice compared to genuine voice is high. This is why the replay attack is very simple, yet very effective attack. However, this simple method may not pass the speaker authentication system with the voice anti-spoofing. Now, let's see some demos. There are already plenty of third-party apps can control smart cars like Tesla using Siri. This is a video demo for the replay attack on Siri, and because some of actions like unlock the door needs authentication like PIN codes for this app, we can only open the chatbot with it.
Yeah, the door currently is locked. Yeah, so yeah, and then yeah, the port is open.
However, we have found at least one app that doesn't need actual authentication, and we can unlock the Tesla very easily. Okay. Now, oh, sorry.
So ask Tesla to unlock it. Yeah, it works. Okay.
Now let's take a look at the speech synthesis, text-to-speech algorithm. Let's take Google's SV2 TTS as an example. The entire speech synthesis can be divided into three parts. The speaker encoder module is responsible for extracting speaker features from short sentence. The synthesizer module is responsible for combining the speaker feature with text to generate a mail spectrogram that integrates the specified by the speaker features into the speech corresponding to the specified text. The vocoder module is responsible for generating voice data with male spectrogram, which is the audio data we use for TTS attack. And for the speech synthesis experiment, we use the software called it Mockingbird and real-time voice cloning. It is based on algorithm SV2 TTS, which open sourced by Google. In a perfect situation, it can clone a voice in just 5 seconds to generate abstract speech in real time. And this is a demo for the speech synthesis attack. The first demo is to attack the Baidu Smart Speaker. The Baidu Smart Speaker has ideal anti-spoofing enabled. But we can use TTS to spoof it and impersonate as other people. And the second demo is to attack the Timo speaker. Well, it can also be spoofed by TTS attack. We can go even further by impersonate someone else to purchase something online.
So this is a fixed vocabulary plus random contents system. So without modification, we cannot bypass the system. So now we're using Mockingbird to generate this random content number and replay it to the Timo speaker. And we try to find the right angle to the speaker. As you can see, we may try a couple of times in order to get it work. Yeah, it's done. The purchase is done. So we actually successfully attacked.
Adversarial example attack means an attacker has intentionally designed to cast a machine learning model to make a mistake. For speaker recognition spoofing attack, the main goal is to attack the speaker recognition algorithm by adding some perturbation that has been calculated to the speech data to make the speech be recognized as a genuine victim to deceive the authentication system. This is a white box experiment for speech recognition spoofing attack on an open source project called Deep Speech. we first play a genuine recording. And it can be recognized successfully. Then we played the corrected recording. And the deep switch translated differently. That means our attack is success. So let's summarize our spoofing methods for speakers recognition. As we can see, the fixed vocabulary is the easiest one to attack. A simple replay will work just fine. And for the vendor contents, we still can use speech synthesis or adversarial example to attack.
Okay, so okay, time to move on to facial recognition spoofing. The facial recognition is a technology capable to matching a human face from a digital image or video frame against a database of faces. Usually, it can be used for authenticate user through ID verification servers. And the facial recognition technology is constantly evolving. It was based on low dimension characterization, and then nowadays it has evolved to three-dimension face recognition. And there are already many applications implemented the face recognition. For example, the Face ID to unlock our mobile phone, an iPhone, and boarding the plane in the airport. And operationally, the car company has started to use face recognition technology for driver monitor system, and also use Face ID for driver profile to improve the driving experience. And of course, use the human face to authenticate the owner of a vehicle is indeed a very convenient way. And here are the 4 stages of the face recognition procedure. The first one is face detection. So basically, the system needs to know if there's a human face or cat face. And second is a liveness detection, aka face anti-spoofing. This stage plays a very important role in the face recognition procedure. And third and fourth is a feature extraction and a feature matching. And at this stage, the system will try to match the face features from the database. And let's take a close look at the face recognition procedure, but this time without anti-face spoofing. First, the input data is the image. The system needs to determine whether it's a human face. Once the system spots a human face, it will try to extract the features from this particular human face. And at the final step, the system will match the face features to see if it's in the database. And next, let's talk more about the face anti-spoofing. As we mentioned, this stage plays a very important role in the face recognition procedure. Usually, we need to do some action like open our mouth or shake our head for the system to determine whether the human face presented is a real human being or just a piece of paper. In addition, the system can do a silent face anti-spoofing, which means no human action required. It will determine based on the things like human skin texture or different frequency of motion and so on. And this is a face recognition structure. From the diagram that we can see, there are many other entry points to attack. For example, later in the talk, we're going to share more real-life cases such as threshold value and feature value attack. Okay, so what could possibly go wrong then? So here we have listed the 6 most common methods to spoof the facial recognition system. For example, the photo attack and more advanced attack like adversarial example attack. We're going to talk about these attacks in more details next. So this is the face photo attack. We can print written photo on a piece of paper, and as you can see, it's very easy to do. Even the kids can do it, right? See, they are very happy. And this is what we call Mr.Orange attack. Basically, we draw a human face on an orange, and in order to test the target system face detection function. And as we mentioned, human face detection is the first stage of every face recognition system. Simply draw a human face on an orange will easily spoof the facial recognition system when the system does not have good face anti-spoofing mechanism. Okay, so our first target or smart lock from Xiaomi. Let's play the video first. Okay, as we can see from the video recording, when we presented an orange to the lock, you will not just detect it as a real human, but even think this guy is 24 years old. And we also test the Xiaomi lock with a face photo attack and adversarial example attack. And as we can see, every trick will work. The picture from the left is a real human victim, and Xiaomi lock has detected correctly. But when we presented a face photo, which is the one in the middle, and the adversarial example mask, is the one here, it will also detect it as the same victim. So that all works. But this type of attack can be easily prevented because some of more advanced system, it will come with the infrared camera. And this is what it looks like from a facial recognition system point of view. As we can see, if we presented a human face photo or video on a mobile, see like the one here on the right, to the infrared camera, you actually see nothing at all. Usually we need to do some action like open our mouth or shake the head for the face anti-spoofing system to determine whether the face presented is a real human being or not. But what can we do? What we can do is cut holes and in the eyes or mouth area to bypass the detection. And we even can buy a customizing face sculpture to bypass the system which lacks detection on a human skin texture. So here's the video demo for the face sculpture tag on Huawei P30 Pro. Hey. So, funny please. You unlock it straight away, right? Yeah. So it's working.
As we mentioned early on, the principle of adversarial example attack is an attacker has intentionally designed to cast a machine learning model to make a mistake. As we can see, when we added a small perturbation to the panda picture, the machine learning model will have 99.3% confidence to think it is given instant. And this is a classic adversarial example attack. And based on various characteristics, adversarial example can be divided into 3 different attack methods, such as with or without target, white box or black box attack, and one-step or multi-step attack. We mainly use the black box adversarial example attack method for testing. The transferability of adversarial example is guaranteed by joint training of multiple models. The normal model training process is to train the parameters of the model on a fixed data set. The adversarial sample is training the sample under the condition of fixed parameters, which continuously makes the output of the model close to our expectations. Perturbation barrier selection has a big impact on the attack result. We can add perturbation in different areas on the face, but based on a research article from Tsinghua University, the perturbation area within the eyes and the nose has a higher success rate. So once we made a adversarial example-based mask, we can present to some online face ID algorithm for testing. One interesting factor is even we use the same mask because the human face, skin, and shape are different. One person may have more success rate than the others, as if the picture shows only 73% similarity, and the picture on the right have 89%.
Okay, so this is a video demo for the adversarial example attack on Huawei P30 Pro Face ID login system. So first, this is the real person. It can be logging successfully. Now, the attacker is coming. See, it doesn't work at the first time. And then he starts wearing an adversarial example mask. Straight in, right? So, and this is a video demo for the adversarial example attack on WeMap vehicle face ID system. So again, without a mask, doesn't work. So now we start wearing a modified mask. Let's try again. We got in. And this is another video, the demo, but the target is a car which we cannot disclose the name. But this car actually allows us to turn on the engine and drive off if we bypass the Face ID system. So it's kind of scary if we can bypass it, right? With the adversarial example mask. So we need to continue, you see them? We continue to try. And yeah, eventually it works. So, okay. So now we have the clear idea of principle of adversarial attack is we can add a small perturbation to cause the machine learning model to make a mistake. And during the research, we have found by putting a target face image on the attacker's face, it can cover attack face partially, and we can deceive some of face recognition system with the higher successful rate. And this is a common limitation for 2D face recognition system. So this is a video demo for the feature replace attack. And we tested on Xiaomi Note 9. So without the mask, it won't work. Then I'm gonna wear this special mask. Yeah. Always works all the time. Yeah. Well, of course, when system set the rule so tight and like very high threshold value, we won't able to bypass it easily. And this one is a Face ID system for banking login system, which we were failed to get in. Good for them and for us, right? And so the threshold value. This is a car we were pen tested before, which we cannot disclose the name. But just like a last smart car, it has an Android-based IVI, which we were able to get in the engineer mode. And then once we're in the engineer mode, we're able to enable the ADB connection. And once we got the ADB cell, we are root straight away. So what would you do when you got root on IVI? Maybe you replace the new screen picture, maybe, right? See, pretty cool, huh? So, and this car also gets a Face ID function. However, the anti-facial spoofing is so tight, so good. So we cannot spoof it with the tricks we were just mentioned above. But we are root on the system, remember. Turns out, the threshold value configure file is stored locally on the IVI. So we can actually modify it to a very low value in order to bypass it, right? So here's the video demo for the attack. So first, we saw modify the threshold value when we try to log in. It failed. Try again. Yeah, it won't work. So then we start to do some magic, like by changing the threshold value. And once we change it, we need to reboot the IVI system in order to get it working. So once the system is rebooted itself, we can go in to try it again to see if it works. So now system rebooted. Okay. So let's try it again. You can see the system. Yeah, it's working. See? Syncing. Yeah. Cool. Similarly, this is a Face ID system we have come across during another pen test ops. But this system has two human features stored in a database. Once we got root in the system, we can replace one feature for our own, and then the system will verify any one of them for logging in successfully, which means we can log in as the victims, while victims still able to log in as themselves, which means nobody will even know we were there. Okay. Now, what if we cannot get a cell on a target and then the rules of Face ID is so tight? And are we out of option yet? Let's take a look. See, the door is open. So yeah, a simple RF replay attack will work because those access control systems usually have multiple features enabled. So it turns out our target can also be opened by a fixed code radio remote controller. Just like people said, it's not a bug, it's a feature. Okay, let's summarize some of the technique we have seen so far. For the face detection, it can be spoofed by a Mr.Orange attack, face photo attack, and face sculpture attack. And for the face anti-spoofing, the feature replace attack and the adversarial example attack will work. And for the feature matching, feature value attack, threshold value attack is also a trick we can always try. So in the end, let's not forget those extra function attack by using a hacker IF or something to replay, right? Okay, here's some references if anyone like to know more. And see, we can, for the research, we have done a lot of readings, right? Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you.